Mayor Reed, what was your
Absolutely.
Mayor Reed, what was your situation with the schools?
So in Atlanta, the school system is separate. So the mayor's influence is more of a bully pulpit influence. And so we had just emerged from probably the worst cheating test taking scandal in the
Right.
United States. And I acted one to recruit a best in class superintendent and then use political influence to change members of the board to pass reform in Atlanta, and we improved our statistics and data drastically. I made a political choice when I was in office that I was going to do pension reform first. So I prioritized pensions over taking control of the school system because I felt that if the city of Atlanta went bankrupt, that nothing else was ever going to work. So I spent my political capital on pensions.
I remember that cheating scandal,
Mhm.
and it raised the question of and I'll ask Mayor Elorza about this. Did the reforms of the Obama era inadvertently create things like Atlanta's cheating scandal because of the emphasis on testing?
But we went out. I don't know if they created them, but I think that it caused us to recruit a different level of individual to be involved in the education of our kids. We got the chancellor of higher education for the state of Georgia, would became the superintendent of Atlanta public school system. And so it caused a focus and an intensity, the likes of which I see in the mayor's reforms. So he embodies it. And so I'm excited to see that he continues to have the same kind of fervor and passion.
What are the takeaways, pithy takeaways on education that can resonate with voters besides just, concepts like reform?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've thought about this, Larry, and I think that, I've always believed that there's no such thing as the ideal strategy or the ideal approach in the abstract. There's only the best approach or the best strategy for a given environment. So we have to understand the environment in which we're operating. And the truth is that, the mood of the moment is one of great angst. What Donald Trump has always done so well, like most, quote unquote, successful dictators, is that he taps into a deep sense of grievance. Um, and what I would advise President Biden is to also tap into a deep sense of grievance, but do it in a way that doesn't divide us, but actually brings us together. And I think there's an opportunity in education. So I mentioned the statistics in Providence. Do you all know, or rather, can you believe that there are 23 entire schools in Baltimore, Maryland, where not one single child in those schools can do math at grade level?
Hmm.
That's outrageous. It's indefensible. And, I think there's an opportunity here to just call out the injustice, call out, show the outrage, be indignant. And I think that would tap into, deep anxieties that we feel in our community. And we can channel, that anxiety and that anger into something positive for real reforms for kids. And then we can get into a policy discussion.
I'd also say a sense of urgency, coupled with the being outraged, and the anxiety is the as Dr. King would always talk about, the urgency of now as it relates to education.